How's it going, everybody? Welcome to part 2 of my little dive expedition with Hunter. If you don't remember in my last video, or if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It is part 1. It's the video right before this one. I shot a mahi-mahi, my first one ever, and Hunter got a really big yellow spot and a really nice sized moo, and I shot a bunch of big roys with my 3-prong. So go check that out. It's a super sick video, and it'll make this video make a little bit more sense. But anyway, so this dive, me and Hunter went out again with Avery to a bunch of different spots, a bunch of different zones, and I actually had to use my 3-prong for most of the dive because the mahi that I shot actually broke my reel. So we went to a bunch of different spots. I 3-pronged a bunch of fry fish, and Hunter was going for some bigger fish with a gun, and we got some nice fish. So I'm just gonna show you guys that video, and I hope you guys enjoy. Remember, if you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out a lot, and it helps me to know what you guys want to see in future videos. So I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you in the water. Alright guys, so we were seeing a bunch of big reeds on the fish finder when we got to the spot, so we were pretty excited and we jumped in. And here I was just taking a drop with a 3-prong, and I'm looking around trying to shoot some coles and stuff, and then this big gray reef or Galapagos sneaks up on me. And we learned pretty quickly, Hunter and I, that the reeds that we were getting, the big reeds, were just really big sharks, just a bunch of these big Galapagos. And I was trying to shoot a cole or something there, but that shark was making me a little bit nervous just because of how close he came that first time and how he was still hanging around even though he got spooked. So I just went back up to the surface. So the reason I'm actually using my 3-prong is because in my last video, if you guys remember, I shot a mahi-mahi and the mahi actually broke my reel. And I fixed it a little bit, but after everything happened and everything was said and done, I had no reel line. And plus I had already shot a mahi, so I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to take my 3-prong and shoot some fry fish first for Avery. So I saw an avail in this hole, so I just took a shot. Good size avail. And I'm just looking all around for that shark and all the other ones that we were seeing. I think we saw like 5 or 6 big sharks that were hanging out where the water started to get deeper. And it wasn't super scary, but it was just like, you know, just have to keep your head on a swivel kind of thing. So these big black surgeonfish are actually called king cole, or at least that's what we call it in Hawaii, and they're like cole, except as you can see, they don't have the golden ring around their eye, and they also get quite a bit bigger. And I actually haven't had one of these before, but I've heard they taste good, and some people say that they taste better than cole, like the regular gold eye cole. So I was just shooting a bunch of these. I mean, there were so many of them everywhere, and Avery wanted some fish in the boat to start off the day, and he wanted some of these fry fish. So since I had the 3-prong, I decided, you know, I might as well take a few of these guys. And it was actually really fun just 3-pronging around, even though like I wasn't able to use my gun for a little while. It was fun just kind of, you know, sitting there, seeing the fish come around, and shooting a new species that I actually have not shot before. These king cole are actually kind of rare where I usually dive, so don't usually see them too often. I've seen a few of them, but it was always when I was using my gun and I didn't want to bother, you know, shooting a king cole with my gun. Even though it would be a new species, it's still, you know, kind of a small fish to go for with a Riffe 110. So I usually just leave them alone, but in this case, since I was already using the 3-prong, I had the chance to actually snag a couple of these guys. And I wish I had gotten a chance to actually try them and see what they tasted like, but I just gave them all to Avery and we left, and maybe one day soon I'll get to shoot one of these. If I ever go to the spot where I've seen them before, one of my spots, I'll definitely bring the 3-prong and I'll shoot a couple and cook one for you guys. So these coles were just congregating around this hole here, and I was actually seeing a big roy that was sitting inside the actual hole itself, and I was dropping down repeatedly just trying to see if he would come out, and each time he wouldn't come out, I would just take a cole on my way up. So once again, dropping on that same hole. And this time I decided to actually look inside the hole to try and get that roy. Because I could see him, he just wasn't coming out. So I just crept my way over. And I saw him in the back, so I lined up. Took a shot, he kind of fights me a little bit. And I pinned him against a rock in the back of the hole. And there's actually a lobster in there. You can't see him because it's so dark, but I could see him, and there's just a big lobster hanging out, and I contemplated going in to grab him, but you know, he was just really far back, and I didn't want to get stuck or anything, so I just pulled out the roy. Luckily, I got him right in the gills, and I had the knurled prongs that Evolve makes, so he wasn't getting off. So another big roy down, taking out some invasives. So once again, dropping down on this same hole. The king coles were starting to leave, but a few of them were hanging around, and I noticed there was a bunch of munus coming around too. So I saw one right there that was a good size, and he didn't seem too scared, so I kind of just crept up to him. And then I lined up when he stopped to turn broadside and took a shot, got him in the gills, but not too well. So I'm going over to grab him, and he actually rips off right into my hand, luckily. Not too often the fish rips off and you actually are able to grab him before he gets anywhere, but he ripped off, and like right as my hand was closing around him and as he tried to swim out, my hand closed and I grabbed him. So I got lucky here, but he actually rips out of my hand right there. But he was pretty messed up because I got him in the gills, so he was bleeding out. So then I just dropped down, and I didn't want to grab him. I've seen too many videos where people try to grab it and then they make that mistake and it slips away again, and this time they can't find it. So I just put another shot in. So shame, I almost missed him. I only got him with the 1 prong in the head. But good size munu. So after this, we switched to another spot, and Hunter saw this big school of avas, big avas, and he starts to dive bomb them, and they see him coming, so they start kind of freaking out a little bit. And he lines up, gets a quick shot, but he hits it a little bit low, so the ava rips off, unfortunately. And avas have super soft meat, so they rip off real easy. And we went back to the other spot, but a little bit further down the coast, and there were these big schools of the king cole. So I hit one there, but my spear didn't go all the way through. So I just reloaded, then lined up on another one. It was really fun to bring out the 3-prong again, and it's been a while since I dove with only a 3-prong. So super fun to just poke coles and stuff like that. So on this drop, I saw a big roy sitting in a hole. So I tried to kind of find him, and then he came out and was staring right at me. So I lined up and shot, and he pulls my spear off to the side there. But I must not have hit him too well, because I go back down and I pull my spear out and he's not on there anymore. So either he got off or an eel got him or something. And I noticed the king coleus were coming around again, so I reloaded my spear. But first I checked the hole to see if I could see the Roy, see if he was like dying or something and just laying down. But one, it was really dark, I couldn't see that far into the hole, and it was not that big of a hole, so wherever he went, I couldn't see him. So I just lined up on a king cole again. Got another one. So we switched spots again, and Hunter shot a nice blue uhu. He also shot a Moanakali, and he has that video on his channel. I don't have the clip of him actually shooting it, and he has a clip of him getting this blue uhu too, so go check that video out. So then we switched spots one more time, and as we were getting towed behind the boat trying to restart our drift, and on our way there I noticed a big yellow spot getting cleaned at the bottom. You can already see him there. And so I attached my tagline to my gun like I used to do in my old videos, and you can see my gun has no line on it. So I'm dropping down and I line up and I take my shot, and if you notice I actually stopped swimming at him. And the reason why is not because I wanted to line up or anything, it's because my tagline wasn't long enough. I was passing the 60-foot mark, and my tagline is only 60 feet, so I had to take that shot, and luckily he was close enough and I was able to land a nice mid-body shot. But of course, like, I would have liked to get closer and track him a little bit longer, but my tagline was just too short for it. The yellow spot fought me for like a minute or two, and I was just slowly working him up to the surface. So really nice yellow spot. About the same size as the one that Hunter shot in my other video. So I was super stoked to get this guy. And he was getting clean, so I knew that he wasn't gonna, you know, he wasn't ready to be shot at for sure, so luckily my tagline was just long enough for me to get this shot. So super nice yellow spot, super stoked. .27. 8.27. So 8.3 with the tail. Alright guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little two-part series with Hunter. It was honestly super fun. I got my first mahi, which was really sick, and that big yellow spot, also super fun. And three-pronging, getting back into that was also just a blast. Hunter got some really nice fish, and he has all of his footage on his channel as well. He just posted his first commentary video where he talks about everything that was going through his head and his mind when he was going after his fish. So go check that out. It's going to be in my description below. But if you don't want to hear Hunter's voice, I understand, you know, some people don't want to hear him talk. I know I don't want to hear him talk sometimes, but that's okay, because Hunter has a bunch of really sick edits and compilations on his channel as well, and that's kind of the primary focus of his channel. And he's actually made some edits for me and for my clips, and I'll tell you that every single time he's made one for me, it was super sick and I really enjoyed it. So go check those out. They're really awesome. He has a really awesome channel. And this whole trip, like all these videos, everything that I got wouldn't have been possible without him, so go check that out for sure. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I will see you guys in the next video. Shoots, everybody.